My beloved child, why is this strange thing happening? Why did the doors feel closed, the pressure heavier, the silence louder, and the timing almost unbearable? Hear me clearly. When something big is coming, you will begin to see 4 signs, and tonight I will open your eyes to them, so you stop calling preparation punishment and protection delay. My beloved child, the one I have known since before the stars were flung into the velvet expanse of the night, listen closely to the whisper that is now reaching your soul. You think you stumbled upon this message by chance, that an algorithm guided your hand to click on these words. But I am here to tell you that there are no accidents in my kingdom. I have watched you in the stillness of the midnight hour when the world is silent and your heart is loud with questions that seem to have no answers. I saw the tears you wiped away so quickly, hoping no one would notice the cracks in your strength. I felt the weight of the breath you held in your chest when you looked at your reflection and wondered if I had forgotten your name. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. And I have paused the rotation of the earth just so you could hear this truth. I have not forgotten you. In fact, I have been closer to you in your loneliness than in your moments of celebration. This is not just a video or a podcast. It is a divine summons, a holy interruption in your routine, because the season of your hiding is coming to an abrupt and glorious end. I have orchestrated this specific moment in time to speak directly to the depths of your weariness, because I know you are at the breaking point, and I am the God who mends the broken with gold. Before I reveal the profound shift that is about to overtake your reality, and before I name the 4 signs that confirm something big is approaching, I ask you to perform a gentle but powerful act of faith. Do not let this moment pass as a mere spectator. If your spirit knows I am speaking to you, subscribe to this channel now, not for a number, but so you remain covered, fed, and anchored when the noise returns. And before we go further, write in the comments, "I am here, Lord," as a quiet surrender and a sacred agreement. Let that simple sentence become your healing altar in the open your way of stepping out of hiding and into my light. There is a mystery in my silence that many have misunderstood as abandonment, and this is the secret I must reveal to you before you can step into your greatness. You have felt the sting of my quietness, crying out into the void, only to hear the echo of your own voice. You thought I was ignoring your pleas, but the truth is that my silence is my highest form of protection. When I am silent, I am working in the unseen realms where your enemies cannot track my movements. I have been building a fortress around your destiny, shielding you from battles you were not yet equipped to fight. This silence was never meant to break you. It was designed to build you into a vessel capable of carrying the weight of the glory I am about to pour into your life. You have been in the womb of the Spirit, a dark and narrow place, but darkness is where life begins. The pressure you feel is not the pressure of a tomb, but the pressure of a birth. Something massive, something so significant that it will change the trajectory of your bloodline, is pushing its way through the veil of time, and you are the chosen gate through which it shall enter. Stay with me, for the signs I am about to show you will confirm that your wait is finally over. My precious child, I have seen you walking through the long, dimly lit corridors of your life, reaching out for handles only to find every single door locked tight. I have watched as you stood before opportunities that seemed perfect, only to have them vanish like a mirage just as you were about to touch them. I know the hollow sound that echoes in your heart when you hear the word no over and over again. You have felt as though you are trapped in a room where the walls are slowly closing in and the air is becoming too thin to breathe. This suffocation of the soul is a heavy burden, a weight that makes your footsteps sluggish and your spirit weary. You have looked around and seen others walking through golden gates with ease, while you remain stuck in the shadows of rejection. You have questioned your worth, wondering if there is some hidden flaw within you that keeps the world's favor at arm's length. But I am here to tell you that those locked doors were not meant to be your prison. They were my divine protection. If I had allowed you to enter some of those rooms, the very things you desired would have destroyed the person I am calling you to become. I closed those doors because the ground on the other side was sinking sand. And I love you too much to let you build your future on a foundation that could not sustain your destiny. I have heard the silent screams of your heart when you felt like your prayers were doing nothing more than hitting a cold brass ceiling. I saw you on your knees in the dark, pouring out your soul until you had no words left, only to wake up the next morning to the same silence, the same bills, the same loneliness, and the same pain. You felt as though I had turned my back on you, as though your voice was lost in the vastness of the cosmos. But I want you to know that I have gathered every one of those ceiling prayers in a golden bowl before my throne. Not a single sigh has been ignored. The reason you felt that ceiling was not because I wasn't listening, but because I was creating a vacuum, a sacred space where you would have no choice but to stop looking to the world for your oxygen and start breathing in the life-giving spirit that only I can provide. This spiritual suffocation was a sign that you have outgrown your current environment. The room has become too small for the greatness I have placed inside you. You are feeling restricted because you are a giant trying to live in a dollhouse, and the discomfort you feel is the divine agitation required to make you move toward the vast open fields I have prepared for you. I saw you when you sat in your car, unable to go inside your home, because the exhaustion was so deep it felt like it had settled into your very bones. I saw you staring at your phone, waiting for a message that never came, a sign of validation from people who are too blind to see the light I have placed within you. I know the specific ache of being misunderstood by those who should have been your greatest supporters. You have been carrying the weight of everyone else's expectations, trying to be the pillar of strength while you were crumbling inside. You have felt like a failure because the things that come so easily to others seem like an uphill battle for you. But listen to my voice. You are not failing. You are being refined. The heat of this season is not meant to consume you, but to burn away the impurities of people-pleasing and self-doubt. The suffocation you feel is the death of your old self, the one that relied on human strength and earthly logic. I am stripping away the false comforts so that you can finally lean on my everlasting arms. Every closed door was a not yet or a not this way, because I am navigating you toward a door that no man can shut, a door that leads to a palace you never dreamed you would inhabit. Take a moment right now to release the tension you have been carrying in your neck and your chest. Breathe deeply, for I am the breath of life. You do not have to fight for your next move. I have already gone before you and leveled the mountains. The feeling of being trapped is an illusion of the enemy to make you give up just as the breakthrough is manifesting. You are not stuck. You are in a divine holding pattern, being fueled and prepared for a vertical takeoff. If you can feel my presence, even in the midst of this narrow place, then you are ready for what comes next. Do not resent the closed doors, for they have kept you from paths that would have led to your undoing. Trust the hand that holds the keys. And if this word is breathing strength back into your spirit, press. Like right now, not as a habit, but as a quiet amen, a small act of agreement that says, Lord, I receive your peace in this narrow place. Let that be your gentle yes. This is the moment your suffocation turns into a song of victory. My child, look at the life of Joseph, a story I wrote long ago to serve as a mirror for your own journey. Joseph had a dream, a vision of greatness I placed in his heart. Yet his reality quickly became a nightmare. He was stripped of his colorful coat, betrayed by his own flesh and blood, and cast into a dark, narrow pit. I want you to understand, that I was as much in the pit as I was in the dream. You are feeling the sting of betrayal right now. You are looking at the people you loved, the ones you helped, and the ones you sacrificed for, and you are wondering how they could turn their backs on you. You feel as though you have been discarded, thrown away into a place where no one can hear your cries. But hear me clearly. You were not thrown away. You were planted. You were not forgotten. You were hidden. The pit was not a detour. It was the only way to get you to the palace. If Joseph's brothers had not betrayed him, he would have remained a shepherd in a small field, never reaching the seat of power that would save nations. Your current pit is a divine transportation system. I am using the very hands of your enemies to push you toward your destiny. They think they are stopping you, but they are actually fulfilling my purpose for your life. I know the injustice burns. I see the lies spoken against you and the way your reputation has been tarnished by those who should have protected it. You are asking, Lord, why did you allow this evil to prevail? My beloved, I allowed the pit because the pit is where you learn the character that the palace requires. In the dark, where there is no applause and no one to impress you, and I are building something indestructible. You are not breaking. You are being forged. A sword is not made in a garden. It is made in the fire and on the anvil. You are being tempered so that when I finally seat you at the table of influence, you will not be destroyed by the pride or the pressure that comes with it. You are not behind in life. You are exactly where I need you to be to undergo the transformation that will make you fireproof. The silence of this season is the silence of the potter's shed. I am working on the vessel, smoothing out the rough edges of your soul so that you can hold the wine of my new blessing without leaking. Trust the process, for I am the master architect, and I never waste a single tear or a single moment of your pain. Do you see now why the struggle has been so intense? The enemy saw the coat I gave you, the favor, the talent, the unique light that radiates from your spirit, and he tried to steal it. But he forgot one thing: he can steal the coat, but he cannot steal the calling. He can put you in a pit, but he cannot stop the sun from rising on your life. You are currently in your hidden season, a time of preparation where your roots are growing deep so that your branches can eventually touch the heavens. This is where you learn that I am enough. When the brothers are gone, when the friends have vanished, and when the pit is deep, you find that I am the only one who can pull you out. And I will pull you out. But I will not just bring you back to where you were. I will bring you to a place of authority that your enemies will have to acknowledge. Every act of betrayal you have suffered is a credit in your heavenly account, and the interest is about to be paid in full. I am redeeming every lost year, every stolen opportunity, and every moment of shame. As you stand in this realization, I want you to see something deeper. The pit is not only a place of pain, it is also a place of pressure. And pressure always reveals what has been hidden inside you. That is why, right after betrayal, many of my chosen ones feel a very specific kind of exhaustion. An exhaustion that does not come from work, but from carrying a calling while bleeding in secret. Stay with me, because what you have been calling burnout is actually a sign that your old strength has reached its limit, and my strength is about to take over. My chosen one, I know the weight of the mantle you carry. It is a specific heavy kind of exhaustion that the world cannot understand. It's not the tiredness that comes from a day's work, but a soul weariness that comes from being a light in a dark place. You feel like you are walking through water while everyone else is running on dry land. You are tired because you are not just living your life. You are breaking cycles for your entire family tree. You are fighting battles in the spirit that your neighbors don't even know exist. I see how you have carried the burdens of others, how you have been the listening ear, the provider, and the rock for everyone around you, only to find that when you are the one in need, the room goes silent. I see the loneliness that comes with being the strong one. You have poured yourself out until the jar is empty, and you've looked around for someone to pour back into you, only to find that most people are only there for what you can give, not for who you are. This is the price of the calling. But I want you to know that I am the one who refills the jar. Why is it that you are always the one to lend a hand, yet you are the one left to figure it out when your own back is against the wall? Why is it that you offer loyalty to those who offer you betrayal? It is because I have placed a heart of a king and a queen within you, a heart that naturally seeks to build and heal. But you have been casting your pearls before those who only know how to trample them. You have been looking for validation from people who are intimidated by your light. They don't understand your drive, your hunger for more, or the way you refuse to settle for a mediocre life. They call you too much or difficult because your very presence convicts their lack of purpose. I saw you crying in secret, asking me why you had to be the one to go through the fire. I want you to understand that I didn't choose you because you were the strongest. I chose you because you were the one who wouldn't quit on me. The loneliness you feel is not a punishment, it is a separation. I am pulling you away from the crowd because where I am taking you, the crowd cannot go. Right now, my beloved, I want you to take a moment for yourself. I want you to stop trying to hold everything together. For just these few seconds, I want you to inhale deeply, filling your lungs with the air I have provided. And as you exhale, I want you to drop your shoulders. Let go of the tension you've been holding in your neck, the weight of the world you've been trying to carry, as if you were the creator. You are the child. I am the father. It is my job to sustain the universe. It is your job to trust me. Feel the peace that is starting to flow from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. This exhaustion is a sign that you have reached the end of your human strength, and that is exactly where my supernatural strength begins. You have been trying to win this war with your own hands, but the battle belongs to me. The reason your vision feels so heavy is that it wasn't designed for you to carry alone. It was designed to be a partnership between your faith and my power. I am calling you out of the doer mode and into the receiver mode. You have been the warehouse for everyone else's needs, but today I am making you the reservoir of my grace. Do not be discouraged by those who walked away when things got hard. They were only meant to be a part of your history, not your destiny. I am clearing the path so that the right people, the destiny helpers, the true friends, the Boaz of your life, can find you. But first, you must acknowledge that your old way of living is over. You can no longer be the person who sacrifices their peace for the sake of those who don't value it. If you are ready to let go of the exhaustion and step into the rest that I provide, then let that readiness begin in the quiet chambers of your heart, where I see you fully, where I hold you gently, and where I restore what people drained. You are not a slave to their expectations. You are mine. You are the chosen one, and your restoration starts now. My beloved child, there is a reason why the winds have blown so fiercely against you lately. You have looked at the string of bad luck, the sudden breakdowns, and the unexpected obstacles, and you have wondered if the universe itself is conspiring against you. I am here to pull back the curtain and show you the truth of the spiritual realm. The resistance you are facing is not a sign that you are on the wrong path. It is the ultimate confirmation that you are exactly where you need to be. The enemy does not waste his arrows on those who are heading toward destruction. He only targets those who represent a threat to his kingdom of darkness. You have a light within you that is so bright, so ancient, and so powerful that it causes tremors in the unseen world. The shadows are not trying to stop you, because you are weak. They are trying to stop you because they are terrified of what will happen when you finally realize who you truly are. Every trial you have endured, every whisper of doubt that has entered your mind, and every setback that felt like a personal attack was a calculated attempt to make you drop your crown and walk away from the destiny I have carved out for you. You must understand that this battle is not fought with flesh and blood. It is fought in the quiet moments when you choose to hope, despite the evidence, and in the late nights when you choose to trust me instead of your anxiety. The enemy is a master of distraction, trying to make you focus on your bank account, your critics, or your past mistakes, so that you will lose sight of the victory that is already yours. He wants you to believe that you are a victim of circumstance, a leaf blown about by the winds of fate. But I have given you the authority to tread upon serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy. The bad luck you've experienced was actually a spiritual blockade, an attempt to frustrate you until you gave up on the promises I whispered into your soul. But what the enemy intended for your evil, I am already turning for your good. I am using the very resistance he created to build the spiritual muscles you will need to hold the territory I am about to give you. You are not being defeated. You are being trained in the art of spiritual warfare. This invisible battle has been intense because you are standing at the threshold of a massive breakthrough. The closer you get to the treasure, the more guardians you encounter. The reason the pressure has been dialed up to an unbearable level is that the darkness knows its time is short. It can sense the shift in the atmosphere. It can hear the sound of the chains rattling as they prepare to fall off your life. Do not be deceived by the chaos you see with your physical eyes. Behind the scenes, I am dismantling the strongholds that have held your family captive for generations. I am silencing the accuser who speaks lies into your ear at 3:00 a.m. I am moving people out of your way who were secretly working against you while smiling to your face. The very things that were meant to destroy you are becoming the stepping stones for your elevation. You are not a target of random tragedy. You are a soldier of the light, and the victory has already been secured in the heavenly places. Take heart and stand firm, for the one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world. As you begin to see this truth, you must seal your position in the Spirit. This is a moment of divine alignment that requires a physical response to anchor the blessing. If you recognize that the battle is not yours but mine, and if you are ready to watch me scatter your enemies before your eyes, then do not keep that faith trapped inside your chest. Write in the comments right now, "The battle is won." Let that sentence be your healing decree, your quiet amen, that anchors courage where fear has been living. Let the sound of your declaration resonate through the corridors of eternity. The enemy thought he had you cornered, but he didn't realize that he was only setting the stage for the greatest comeback the world has ever seen. Your light is breaking through, and the shadows must flee. I want you to rest in the knowledge that I am your shield and your great reward. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment I shall condemn. You have been through the thick of the forest, and the shadows felt like they were swallowing you whole. But look up, the dawn is breaking. The very things you feared were the end of your story are actually just the end of a chapter that you no longer need to read. You are moving into a season of suddenlies. Suddenly the debt will be cleared. Suddenly the body will be healed. Suddenly the relationship will be restored. This is the reward for the one who endured the shadow and kept their eyes on the flame. You are more than a conqueror, and the invisible enemy has already lost his grip on your life. Stand tall, my beloved, for your redemption is closer than you think. My beloved child, I know that lately it has felt as though your very soul is being laid bare on an operating table. You have felt a sharp, persistent ache in your spirit, a sense that things are being torn away from you, and you have cried out in the darkness, asking why the hand that once blessed you now seems to be cutting you. I want you to look into my eyes and hear this truth. What you are experiencing is not an attack from the enemy, nor is it a sign of my displeasure. It is a divine surgery. I am the great physician, and I am currently performing a deep spiritual procedure on your heart. I am removing the tumors of fear, the cysts of past trauma, and the necrotic tissue of old habits that have been silently draining your life force. I know it hurts. I know the anesthesia of your old comforts has worn off, and you are feeling the raw edge of change. But I am cutting away the good to make room for the great. If I did not remove these things now, they would become the very poison that would sabotage the massive blessing I am preparing to hand to you. You have been like a branch that has grown thick and wild, spreading in directions that look impressive to the world, but yield no true fruit for the kingdom. I am the gardener, and I am pruning you. I am cutting back the parts of your life that were exhausting your energy, the relationships that were parasitic, the ambitions that were rooted in ego, and the mindsets that kept you small. You look at the ground and see the pieces of your life scattered like fallen leaves, and you weep for what is lost. But I am looking at the sap rising within you, the new strength that is being concentrated in your core. I am trimming you so that you can bear fruit that will last for eternity. Every cut is measured. Every incision is precise. I do not waste a single drop of your blood or a single tear of your sorrow. This pain is not meant to weaken you. It is meant to revitalize you. You are being refined in a way that only the fire of transformation can achieve. This is the season of your rebirth. And birth is never a gentle or tidy process. It is a violent, beautiful push from the familiar darkness of the womb into the blinding light of a new world. You have felt the walls of your current reality pressing in on you, making it hard to breathe, making you feel as though you are being crushed. But that pressure is necessary to propel you through the birth canal of your destiny. You cannot stay in the comfort of the old you any longer. That version of you has served its purpose, but it cannot survive where I am taking you. You are being reshaped, remolded, and rebirthed into a vessel of honor. The skin you are shedding was too tight for the wings I am giving you. Do not resist the contractions of this transition. Yield to the movement of my spirit. The more you fight the surgery, the more you prolong the pain. Lay still in my arms and trust that my steady hand knows exactly what it is doing. I am also performing surgery on your vision. For too long, you have been seeing yourself through the distorted lens of your failures and the opinions of people who never truly knew your heart. I am scraping away the scales of insecurity and the cataracts of shame. I am giving you new eyes that see the world as I see it, and eyes that see your own potential through the prism of my grace. You are beginning to see the divine synchronicities that you once dismissed as mere luck. You are beginning to realize that every person who left you was actually a distraction being removed by my hand. This clarity is painful because it requires you to face the truth about where you have been. But it is the only way to get to where you are going. You are coming out of this operation with a heart that beats in rhythm with mine, and a mind that is clear and focused on the high calling I have placed upon your life. Remember, my precious one, that the most beautiful diamonds are formed under the most intense heat and pressure. The most fragrant perfumes come from the crushing of the flowers. You are being crushed, yes, but you are not being destroyed. You are being released from the prison of your own limitations. When this surgery is over, you will walk with a new authority. You will speak with a new power. The scars you carry will not be marks of shame, but medals of honor, proving that you survived the cutting and emerged more beautiful than before. The world will look at you and wonder where this new strength came from. And you will be able to tell them that you were made new by the hand of the living God. The pain of today is the price of the power of tomorrow. Hold on just a little longer, for the healing has already begun, and the glory that is about to be revealed in you will make all of this seem like a distant, fleeting shadow. My beloved child, you have spent so much of your life looking into mirrors that were never meant to show you the truth. You have looked at the mirror of your failures and saw a person who is defined by mistakes. You have looked at the mirror of society and saw someone who is not enough, not successful enough, not young enough, not talented enough. You have even looked at the mirror of your own trauma and saw a victim who is forever broken by what was done to them. But today, I am reaching out with my hand to smash every one of those distorted mirrors. I want you to stop seeing yourself through the eyes of people who don't know your beginning and can't see your end. I want you to see yourself through my eyes. Before I ever spoke the light into existence, I saw you. Before I knit you together in your mother's womb, I had already written the book of your life. You are not a random occurrence in a vast and uncaring universe. You are my masterpiece, my poema, a carefully crafted work of art that I designed with infinite intentionality. Every freckle on your skin, every quirk of your personality, and even the way your heart feels so deeply, it was all by my design. You are not a mistake. You are the answer to a question I asked before the world began. I saw you when you felt invisible in a crowded room. I saw you when you felt like you were the extra in someone else's movie, wondering when it would finally be your turn to be seen and valued. I saw the moments when you felt like you were just a tool for others to use a reservoir they would drink from until you were dry, only to leave you when they were satisfied. My child, you are not a backup plan. You are not a runner-up. You are royalty. There is a divine DNA flowing through your spirit that transcends your earthly lineage. You are a child of the Most High God, an heir to a kingdom that cannot be shaken. When I look at you, I don't see the sins you've committed. I see the blood of my Son that has washed you white as snow. I don't see the debt in your bank account. I see the riches of my glory that are available to you. I don't see a victim. I see a conqueror who is currently in the middle of a glorious transformation. Your identity is not found in what you do, what you have, or what people say about you. Your identity is found in whose you are. You belong to me, and I do not make junk. Because you have reached this pivotal moment of revelation, it is time to anchor this truth in your physical reality. This is not just a message for your mind. It is a shift for your destiny. If you are beginning to realize that you are far more precious than you ever imagined, then let this revelation settle deep past your thoughts and into your bones until it becomes the voice you hear loudest when the old mirrors try to call you less. I am teaching you to stand in the truth even when no one claps, even when no one understands, even when the room is silent. This is how royalty is formed, not by attention, but by belonging. You must understand why your path has been so much harder than those around you. Why have you faced such intense opposition? Why has your spirit always felt a bit out of place in this world? It is because I have set you apart for a specific high-stakes mission. You are what I call a chosen one. This is not a title of arrogance, but a heavy mantle of responsibility. I have chosen you to be a cycle breaker, a light bearer, and a portal of my grace in an age of darkness. This is why the enemy has worked so hard to make you feel worthless. He knows that if he can keep you focused on your flaws, you will never look up to see your crown. He wants you to live like a beggar while the keys to the kingdom are hanging from your belt. But the illusion is breaking today. The chosen status means you will endure more trials because you are being prepared for more territory. You are being trained to rule, not just to survive. The fire you've walked through was the only way to temper the steel of your character so that it could sustain the weight of the glory I am about to pour upon you. Stop apologizing for being too much for people who aren't enough for you. Stop shrinking yourself so that others can feel comfortable. You were born to stand out, to shine, and to disrupt the darkness. You are my ambassador, and I have given you the authority to speak life into dead situations. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere changes because of the spirit that dwells within you. You are a pioneer paving the way for those who will follow your footsteps. The loneliness you have felt was the silence of the inner chamber where I was teaching you to hear my voice above the roar of the crowd. Now you are ready to step out. You are not a victim of your past. You are the architect of a future that I have already blessed. Hold your head high, for you are loved with an everlasting love, and nothing in all of creation can separate you from my heart. You are who I say you are, and I say you are magnificent. My beloved child, listen closely as I reveal the first undeniable sign that something massive is shifting in the heavens on your behalf. It is the sign of the diamond pressure. Lately, you have been feeling an intensity that is unlike anything you have ever experienced before. It feels as though every area of your life is being squeezed at once, as if the very air around you has grown heavy with an invisible force. Your finances are under a strain that seems illogical. Your relationships are being tested in the fires of misunderstanding, and your mind feels like a battlefield that never rests. You have looked up at the silence of the sky and asked, Lord, how much more can I take? You feel as though you are at the absolute limit of your human endurance, standing on the edge of a cliff with nowhere to turn. But I want you to understand the divine physics of the spirit. Extreme tension is not a sign of my absence, but a prerequisite for your extreme transformation. Just as I take a piece of common coal and subject it to unimaginable heat and pressure deep within the earth to create a diamond, I am doing the same with your soul. The weight you feel is not the weight of a tombstone. It is the weight of the glory that is being crystallized within you. You are not being crushed to be destroyed. You are being compressed to be made indestructible. I have watched you in those quiet, agonizing moments when the walls felt like they were moving in, when the bills piled up higher than your hope, and the strength simply ran out. I saw you sitting on the edge of your bed, head in your hands, wondering if you would ever see a day of peace or a night of rest again. This extreme tension is a sign that your old container, the old version of your life, your old ways of thinking and your old levels of faith, can no longer hold the expansion I am bringing. The shell of who you used to be must crack so that the new glorious life can emerge. Think of the seed buried deep in the dark soil. Before it can become a mighty oak, it must first experience the total destruction of its outer casing under the pressure of the earth. If you are feeling pressed on every side, it is because you are about to sprout into a season of growth that will dwarf everything you have known before. This tension is my way of signaling that the normal life you once lived is gone forever, making way for a supernatural life that will leave you breathless with wonder and gratitude. Do not mistake this pressure for a punishment. I am in the very center of the squeeze with you. I am the one ensuring that the pressure is enough to change your molecular structure, but never enough to destroy your spirit. I know exactly how much you can bear, and I promise you, you are far stronger than you think. You have been conditioned by the world to fear the struggle. But I am teaching you to see the struggle as a sacred invitation to greatness. When the pressure reaches its peak, when you feel like you cannot take one more step handle, one more no, or endure one more night of uncertainty, that is exactly when the miracle is birthed. It is the law of extremity where human effort ends, my divine intervention begins. You are being refined into a jewel of great price, a vessel that can reflect my light in ways that coal never could. The world looks at your struggle and thinks you are falling apart. But I look at your heart, and I know you are finally falling into place. The diamond within you is beginning to shine through the cracks of your old life. And soon the brilliance of your breakthrough will far outweigh the heavy darkness of this season. If you feel this pressure right now, then let this truth settle into the deepest places of you. You are not being targeted to be terminated. You are being shaped to be trusted. I am preparing you to carry a blessing so weighty and so holy that it requires a character made of diamond. Stand firm, my precious one, for the breaking of the shell is simply the birth of the breakthrough. The pressure is proof that the promise is near. My child, the second sign that your destiny is about to shift is a sudden, often painful detachment from people and places that once felt like home. I have watched as individuals you thought would be with you forever have walked away without a word of explanation. I have seen the betrayal in your eyes when those you trusted turn their backs, and the loneliness that settles in when the phone stops ringing and the invitations dry up. You are wondering what you did wrong, searching your soul for mistakes. But I am here to tell you this is not your failure. It is my pruning. I am the divine gardener, and I am cutting away the dead weight. Just as a vine must be trimmed to produce more fruit, your life is being cleared of voices that have served their season, but cannot sustain your next level. I am removing those who are comfortable with your past, so I can introduce you to those who are necessary for your future. This isolation is not a punishment. It is a sanctification. I am quieting the noise of human opinion so that you can finally hear my whisper clearly. Understand this, my beloved. Everyone is not equipped to handle the altitude of where I am taking you. Some people are like buses. They are meant to carry you for a few blocks, providing companionship through a specific neighborhood of your life. But you are now boarding a plane. A bus cannot fly, and if you try to drag everyone from your past into your future, you will never clear the runway. The weight of their doubt, their small-mindedness, and their hidden envy would keep you grounded. I am allowing them to fall away because their assignment in your story has concluded. It hurts to see them go, but if I didn't separate you now, their influence would eventually sabotage the miracle I am about to manifest. You are being heavenly detached so that you can be divinely attached to the right connections, the mentors, the partners, and the destiny shifters who are waiting for you in the next atmosphere. Do not chase what I am removing. Do not beg for the attention of those I have blinded to your worth. If they can walk away from you, let them walk. They were never part of the final harvest. This pruning is the preparation for a massive increase. I am creating space in your life, empty seats at your table, and silence in your circle so that I can fill them with my abundance. If you have felt this season of separation, if you have been hurt by the exit of people you loved, and then let this be the medicine that steadies your heart. You are not being rejected. You are being redirected. I am making room for a blessing so big that those who left would not have had the capacity to celebrate it with you. Your true tribe is coming, and I am the one leading them to your door. Rest in this detachment, my precious one. The peace that surpasses understanding is your portion. You are not being rejected. You are being redirected. The people who were meant to stay are the ones who can see the glory on your life, even when you are in the pit. The ones who left were only looking at the coat of your current circumstance. I am taking you to a height where only those with wings of faith can survive. The thinning of your social circle is the expansion of your spiritual influence. You are entering a season where you will no longer have to explain yourself to people who don't want to understand. I am surrounding you with a wall of fire and the company of angels. The pruning is almost complete, and the fruit that is about to burst forth will be sweeter than anything you have ever tasted. Trust the gardener, for I know the harvest that is coming. My beloved child, have you felt it? That strange, persistent ache in your spirit that began as a faint whisper and has now grown into a deafening roar. It is the third sign, the holy restlessness. You wake up in the middle of the night with a heart that feels like it's racing toward a destination you cannot yet see. You go to the same job, talk to the same people, and walk through the same routines that once brought you a sense of security. But suddenly, everything that used to satisfy you now feels like a suit of armor that is 3 sizes too small. You feel like a stranger in your own house, a visitor in your own life. You are not being ungrateful, and you are certainly not losing your mind. You are experiencing the divine agitation of a soul that has outgrown its current container. I am the one stirring your nest, just as an eagle stirs her nest, to make it uncomfortable for her young, so they will finally be forced to use their wings. This dissatisfaction is a holy gift, a signal from the depths of your being that the horizon you have been living under is far too narrow for the expansion I have placed within you. You are being pushed out of the shallows because I have called you to the deep. You have been trying to quiet this restlessness with the things of the world, thinking that perhaps a new purchase, a new hobby, or a change in scenery would ease the tension, but the hunger remains. That is because the hunger is not for something horizontal, it is for something vertical. Your spirit is crying out for the more of me, and for the fullness of the purpose for which you were created. I am disconnecting you from the mundane so that you can become obsessed with the eternal. This restlessness is the birth pangs of a new mission. You are being unsettled so that you won't settle for anything less than the extraordinary life I have destined for you. I see you looking out the window, sighing for a life that feels more meaningful, more impactful, and more aligned with the light you carry. I am here to tell you that the restlessness is the bridge. It is the holy dissatisfaction that forces you to let go of the good enough so that you can reach for the great. Do not fear the feeling of being out of place, for you were never meant to fit into a world that is passing away. You were made for a kingdom, and your soul is finally recognizing its home. The world might call this a midlife crisis, a season of confusion or lack of focus. But I call it the awakening of the giant within you. You are beginning to realize that the small goals you once had are no longer enough to quench the fire in your bones. You are being prepared for a global impact, for a shift that will touch lives you have never even met. This holy restlessness is the fuel for the journey ahead. It is the energy required to break through the gravitational pull of your past and the expectations of those around you. If you can feel this stirring in your heart right now, if you are tired of playing small and you are ready to step into the vastness of your calling, then hear me. This is not confusion, it is communion. This is not instability, it is expansion. I am calling you out not to shame you, but to free you from the cage of good enough that has been choking your destiny. Trust the agitation, my precious one. Do not try to medicate the restlessness or drown it out with the noise of distraction. Lean into the discomfort, for it is the sound of the chains of mediocrity snapping off your spirit. I am expanding your capacity to receive, to lead, and to love. I am stretching the curtains of your habitation and enlarging the borders of your influence. You are no longer a resident of the valley. You are being called to the mountaintop. The unease you feel is the wind of the Spirit picking up speed, preparing to lift you to heights you once only dreamed of. You are not lost. You are being relocated. You are not bored. You are being born into a higher dimension of reality, where your words carry weight and your actions create ripples in eternity. Every sigh of your heart is a prayer that I am answering with a yes and an amen. Hold on to my hand, for the restlessness is the final sign that the door you have been knocking on is finally about to swing wide open. My beloved child, I am now opening your eyes to the fourth and most beautiful sign that your season of waiting is drawing to a close: divine synchronicity. Have you noticed the way certain numbers seem to follow you lately? Perhaps you glance at the clock and it is always 11:11, or you see the sequence 777, 8888, or 1212 on license plates and receipts until it feels impossible to ignore. Have you noticed how a song you haven't heard in years suddenly plays on the radio the moment you were thinking about a specific problem? Or how a stranger speaks a word to you that perfectly answers a question you only asked me in the privacy of your prayer closet? These are not mere coincidences, my precious one. These are my divine winks. They are the fingerprints of my grace upon the fabric of your daily reality. I am using these signs to tell you that I am here, that I am watching, and that everything in your life is moving according to a heavenly clockwork that cannot be stopped. You are seeing the invisible threads of my providence becoming visible. I am whispering to your spirit that you are perfectly aligned with my will, even when the world around you looks like chaos. These synchronicities are the breadcrumbs I am dropping in the wilderness to lead you to your promised land. When you see these signs, I want you to stop and breathe, for it is my way of saying, trust my timing. If it hasn't happened yet, then it hasn't been the right time, but the right time is now at hand. You have felt lost, but these alignments prove that you are being navigated by a higher power. I am orchestrating a grand symphony behind the scenes, moving people you haven't met yet and opening doors you haven't even knocked on. The numbers and the coincidences are my way of confirming that the sudden lies of heaven are about to manifest in your physical world. You are not walking alone. You are walking in a choreographed dance with destiny. The universe is responding to the frequency of your faith, and the barriers that once stood in your way are being dismantled by my angels at the very moment you see these signs. As you witness these heavenly winks, it is vital that you anchor your spirit in this new reality. Do not dismiss what I am highlighting. Do not call it just luck. Luck is a word for the blind. Synchronicity is the language of the chosen. I am training you to recognize my hand without panic, to feel my guidance without striving to move with me, instead of forcing doors with fear. I want you to become a student of my signs. When you see the repeating numbers or experience a random encounter that feels significant, acknowledge it in your spirit and let peace rise in your chest. This recognition becomes a doorway for even more clarity to flow. You are moving from the season of hoping into the season of knowing. The synchronicity is the proof that the spiritual shift has already occurred. You are simply waiting for the physical world to catch up. I am knitting together the broken pieces of your life into a masterpiece of divine timing. The delays were not denials. They were the time I needed to arrange the perfect outcome for you. You are about to see how every wrong turn was actually a part of my perfect navigation. Your path is lit, your direction is clear, and the winks of God are your constant companion. My child, I have heard the heavy sighs you release when you look at the numbers on a screen or the piles of bills on your table. I have felt the constriction in your chest when you wonder how you will make ends meet, or why, despite your hard work and your faithfulness, you still seem to be swimming against an endless tide of lack. Hear me now, I am the God of the heavens and the earth, and the silver and the gold belong to me. I am the one who provides for the birds of the air and clothes the lilies of the field, and you are of much greater value than they. You have been in a season where the devourer has been busy in your fields, stealing your harvest and draining your resources through unexpected repairs, medical bills, and lost opportunities. But I have issued a decree in the courts of heaven. My word says that when the thief is caught, he must restore sevenfold what he has stolen. I have caught the thief in your life. I have seen every penny that was taken by deception, every hour of overtime that went unrewarded, and every dream that was deferred because of financial pressure. The season of the drought is over, and the rains of my abundance are beginning to fall upon your dry ground. This is not merely about surviving. It is about the sevenfold restoration of everything you have lost. I am not just bringing you back to where you were before the crisis. I am bringing you to a place of more than enough. You have been faithful in the little, even when that little was almost nothing. And now I am making you ruler over much. I am preparing a table for you in the presence of your creditors. I am opening the windows of heaven to pour out a blessing so large that you will not have room enough to store it. I am giving you treasures of darkness and hidden riches stored in secret places. Expect the unexpected. Expect the check in the mail, the sudden promotion, the debt that is inexplicably canceled, and the business idea that will create generational wealth. I am not limited by the economy of your nation, the volatility of the markets, or the status of your credit score. I am the God of the impossible, and I am currently orchestrating a transfer of resources into the hands of those who will use it to bless the world and build my kingdom. As this word enters your spirit, I want you to understand something holy. Provision is not a theory to me, it is a covenant. I am not asking you to strain to panic or to beg. I am teaching you to breathe again because lack has held your chest too tight for too long. Let your hands unclench. Let your jaw release. I am not only changing your numbers, I am healing the fear underneath them. I am breaking the spirit of survival so you can finally live. As you move into this new dimension of prosperity, remember that I am the source, not the resource. The money is simply a tool for the mission I have given you. I am restoring the years that the locust has eaten, the years where you felt behind the years, where you felt like you were barely keeping your head above water. I am accelerating your path. What should have taken 20 years to earn, I can bring to you in a fraction of that time. What should have required a lifetime of saving, I will manifest in a season of suddenlies. I am breathing on your investments, your creative projects, and the work of your hands. Everything you touch shall begin to prosper because my favor is the wind in your sails. You are being blessed to be a blessing. Your testimony will not be about how you struggled, but about how I rescued you and set your feet on a broad place of prosperity. Do not agree with the lie of lack anymore. Do not speak of not having enough. Start speaking the language of the kingdom. Let your faith become the atmosphere in your home again. You are moving from the desert into the land flowing with milk and honey. The yoke of debt is broken, the gates of poverty are shattered, and the wealth of your inheritance is being released into your hands this very hour. Trust me, for I am the God who makes a way where there is no way. My precious one, I have seen the empty chairs at your table and the silent spaces in your life where laughter and loyalty used to dwell. I have watched you navigate the stinging cold of isolation, feeling as though you were a stranger even among those who claim to love you. You have wondered if you were destined to walk this path alone, if the price of being chosen was a lifetime of being misunderstood and excluded. But hear my voice today. The season of the solitary is reaching its end. I am the God who sets the lonely in families and I am currently orchestrating a divine harvest of relationships that will heal the scars of every betrayal you have ever suffered. I am bringing your Boaz into your field, not just a romantic partner, but protectors, mentors, and destiny helpers who will recognize the treasure within you without you having to say a single word. These are people who are not intimidated by your light, but who carry torches of their own to walk beside you. I am replacing the counterfeits who drained your energy with kingdom connections who will multiply your strength. The people I am bringing to you in this coming season will not require you to shrink yourself so they can feel comfortable. They will not ask you to apologize for your passion or to dim your brilliance to fit into their small boxes. For every person who walked away from you when you were in the pit, I am bringing 10 who will stand with you in the palace. I am bringing friends who are closer than a brother, partners who will honor your soul, and collaborators who will see the vision I gave you and say, "Let us build this together." You have spent years pouring into others, only to be left dry, but the tide is turning. This is a harvest of reciprocity. You are about to meet individuals who have been praying for someone exactly like you. Just as I brought Ruth to Boaz and Jonathan to David, I am bringing the right people at the right time to ensure that you no longer have to carry the weight of your calling by yourself. This is the compensation for the lonely years, the divine payback for every tear you shed in the silence of being rejected. I want you to prepare your heart for these arrivals, for they will come suddenly and from directions you least expect. Some will come through a chance encounter that I have perfectly timed. Others will come as a restoration of a bond that was once broken, but has now been refined by my fire. Do not let the wounds of the past make you cynical. Do not let old betrayals teach you to keep your arms closed. I am healing your discernment so you can welcome what is safe and holy and release what is familiar but harmful. The people I am sending carry my own heart of love for you, and you will recognize them by the peace that comes with them. As these new connections begin to manifest, you will notice a supernatural peace that accompanies them. There will be no more striving, no more performing, and no more wondering where you stand. I am giving you relationships where you can finally be fully seen and fully loved. I am healing your trust, which was shattered by the wolves in sheep's clothing. I am giving you a discernment so sharp that you will recognize a destiny helper the moment they speak. This harvest is not just for your comfort. It is for the fulfillment of the mission. You cannot reach the mountain peak alone, and I am sending the climbing partners who have the endurance to go the distance with you. The days of walking alone are over. The season of the harvest has begun. My beloved child, we have come to the sacred threshold where the spiritual meets the physical, and where my word becomes your reality. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. And I am here to tell you that the version of you that began this journey is not the version of you that is finishing it. You have stood in the fire and did not burn. You have walked through the floods and did not drown. Today, I am placing the final seal of my protection and my promise upon your life. The season of your hiding, the season of your tears, and the season of your not yet is being officially closed in the ledgers of heaven. I have watched you endure the 4 signs, the diamond pressure, the divine pruning, the holy restlessness, and the supernatural synchronicities, and you have passed the test of faithfulness. Now I am stepping into your situation as the Lord of the breakthrough. I am not just opening a door. I am removing the entire wall. I am not just giving you a blessing. I am making you a monument of my grace. What I have begun in you, I will complete with such splendor that even your greatest critics will have to acknowledge that my hand is upon you. Listen to the authority in my voice. Every chain of generational poverty is shattered. Every spirit of infirmity and chronic pain is commanded to leave your temple. Every cloud of depression and brain fog is being evaporated by the heat of my glory. I am speaking life into your dead dreams and resurrection power into your weary bones. You have been in the waiting room long enough. The great physician has cleared you for takeoff. You are moving from the construction site to the finished palace. I am the God who makes all things new, and I am currently rewriting the script of your future. Those who thought they had the last word on your life were mistaken, for I am the only one who holds the pen. I am erasing the chapters of shame and writing a new story of honor, abundance, and peace. This is the moment where your faith becomes sight and your prayers become testimonies. The weight of the world is falling off your shoulders, replaced by the light and easy yoke of my spirit. Breathe in this freedom, for it is your eternal inheritance. Now I want you to perform a holy act of activation. I want you to repeat these words in the quiet of your soul or out loud, letting them vibrate through your entire being. I am a child of the Most High God. I am no longer a victim of my past, but an architect of my future. I am highly favored, deeply loved, and divinely protected. The 4 signs are active in my life, and I step into my 7-fold restoration right now. My doors are open, my tribe is finding me, and my light will never be dimmed. I am ready for the massive shift. I am ready for the glory of God to be revealed in me. It is done. It is settled. It is mine. As you speak these words, feel the frequency of heaven aligning with your spirit. You are no longer praying from a place of defeat. You are decreeing from a place of victory. The heavens are echoing your amen, and the angels are being dispatched to bring the physical manifestations of these promises to your doorstep. You are the chosen one, and your time has finally come. Before I release you into this new day, there is one final vital seal that must be placed upon this prophecy. The enemy is a thief who seeks to steal the seed before it can take root. But today, we are locking this blessing into your life forever. This is your final act of faith, your divine signature on the contract of your destiny. Do not stay silent, for your words are the anchors of your reality. Type Amen or "It is done" in the comments right now, not to prove anything to people, but to plant a stake in the spirit and say, I agree with heaven over my life. And as you do, press like as a quiet seal of gratitude, and I receive rising from a healed heart. Then subscribe so you stay anchored in this stream of my guidance, because I am not finished speaking to you in this season. And my beloved, if you feel led, if this message truly ministered to you, leave a super thanks as an offering of honor. Not as pressure, but as a gentle act of worship that says, Lord, what you've done in me is valuable. I will breathe on what you place in my hands, and I will return it to you in ways that bring peace, provision, and confirmation. You are not pouring into emptiness, you are sowing into sacred ground. My child, do not walk away from this moment and return to your old way of thinking. You are a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come, to ensure that you stay connected to this flow of divine guidance and that you never have to feel alone in the battle again. I invite you one last time to remain in this family of light. You are no longer a solitary traveler. You are part of a royal priesthood. I will never leave you nor forsake you. My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. Go forth in power, go forth in joy, and go forth in the absolute certainty that the God of the universe is for you and nothing can stand against you. The shift has happened. The glory is here. It is done.